We're coming into the home stretch, so that means stretch. Go ahead, get up and take a stretch, because you guys have been sitting really long. Just, I don't know, just real quick, just stretch it out a little bit. We've been sitting for a while. Okay, all right. We also have to be mindful of time. Go ahead, sit back down. All right, so, see, that's mercy. That's a mature mercy. I can hold boundaries and I can acknowledge your needs and be empathetic. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to start with the strengths of mercy, okay? Because as with any of these gifts, they can get some kind of weird, kind of negative connotation. And I just want to say that mercy is not being a softie. Okay, it's not, oh, look at that. I feel sorry for that person, and I feel sorry for that person. A really good mercy is so powerful. But what we see today a lot in our culture is a lot of people motivated by mercy. That's where our social justice movements come out of. This is where we get this compassion overload, but it's not balanced because it's not redeemed. So that's what carnal mercy looks like. It's like, I care about people. We need to do something. We need to fix something because people are getting hurt and we need to do something. But it lacks wisdom sometimes. And so if you're going to be a powerful mercy, you've got to walk in wisdom. There has to be a strong reliance on your relationship with God, dependency on God, and obedience to God. So I just want to encourage you with that. As a kid, I might have been a little bit soft because I was a kid and I was learning and I didn't have any authority. I'm a kid, right? But sometimes being a mercy is the hardest thing to do because your heart wants to jump in and take care of somebody, but you're not supposed to do that because you have to give space for God to do that. That's his job. And it is really powerful. Mercy is powerful. How many times was Jesus moved by compassion? And then miracles happened. And then people got healed because he was moved by compassion. People didn't have a shepherd. He recognized their need, and it moved the Spirit of God, the heart of God. So mercy is a very strong and powerful gift, but it does have some hazards, and we're here to talk about that too. Every gift has power. That's why we're talking about this. And we are to become all things to all men. So at any given point in your life, these gifts will pop up as needed. That's the point. But I'm pretty strong in mercy. And as I have evolved, I was like mercy, and then prophet was really close. Well, now you're talking to a mercy who is a teacher, ruler, mercy, prophet, but mercy is like going down. It's really weird. I'm getting old. Maybe I'm just getting cranky. No, I'm getting wiser. And there's things that you're growing in. So that's going to be, you're going to get a flavorful mix of me where I don't even remember my scores, but I looked at it and I was like, what's happening? They're like all high. Z and I took it together, and it was a big surprise to me that my mercy was no longer my strongest gift. But it doesn't mean that I'm not motivated by that. My number one motivation, and if you're wondering if you're a mercy, I feel like the way to really think about that is I just desperately want people to know that I love them and God loves them. That is the most simplest, I'm not sure if I'm a mercy. Well, is it really important for people to know that they are loved? Then you might be a mercy. Okay. So we create a safe environment for the wounded. I'll tell you a really funny story about high school version Emily. So I was young and didn't hold boundaries well, which is also one of these little weaknesses that we have. And I had gone to a concert, and I got a little bit peer pressured, and I did something I shouldn't do, and I'm not going to say it on camera, because it's old Emily, she's dead and gone, okay? But I did something I shouldn't do. And I grew up in Berryville, Clark County High School. My graduating class had like 100 people in it. There's more people in this church than were in my class, okay? So everybody heard about it, and everybody knew about it. I was at the lunch table during lunchtime in high school, and our resident school bully, who was a jock, okay, let me paint a little bit more of a picture. I was in chorus and drama and soccer, but this guy was a jock, with football and basketball. We were on the swim team together, and he softened after this, but he bullied everybody all the time. Well, I became his target, and it was an easy target. And I looked at him as he was going to take his lunch to the, back to the where your trash is. And he's taking his tray, and he's mocking me, and he's doing the thing that I did that I shouldn't have done. And my temperature lost control. I had no control. So that's one of our weaknesses. They struggle with emotional processing. So instead I was like, nobody likes you because all you do is bully everyone. And you need to stop treating people this way. And you deserve to be in trouble. And don't talk to me like that. And don't talk to anybody like that. And I was also booking it. I was coming across the cafeteria to get him. And the next thing I know, the vice principal is he's right behind me. He's pulling me back. It's the only time I ever got in trouble in high school. I had to do detention and all that with the guy. But that's what, that uncontrollable desire for justice. Now, the rest of the whole cafeteria applauded me. So that kind of felt good. But that wasn't mature at all. That's not the right way to handle things. But that was me growing up. And that was that mercy heart in me. Okay, I don't want to let anybody else feel the way that I feel right now. And that empathy is just so powerful, and it's consuming. But also, kind of like Wanda over here, this empathy and intuition can sometimes be overwhelming and overstimulating. You can see about the mercy can sense God's presence, and in spirit-led worship, we really sense the Lord in things. And so I can be in a room and I feel. So I may not necessarily hear God say something, but my emotions, I feel grief. I feel depressed. This empathy is I have had to ask God so many times throughout the years, is this me? Am I depressed? Or is it something in my community, something in the atmosphere that the Lord is trying to show me hopelessness that I can do what? Intercede for, because that's one of the things we should be doing as the mercy is interceding. That's why he's given me this gift so I can say, this city is under just deep oppression. And let me pray and let me break that off in the spirit realm. It's a work in the spirit. It's not flesh and blood, right? Okay? So that is another great example. When we were at a former church, and it was one of my first church experiences in life, and an example of this feeling the spirit and being so sensitive to it. We were experiencing revival at the time. I couldn't have picked a better time to dedicate my life to the Lord. People were getting saved and baptized every week, and we had incredible worship, and gifts were alive. And this was about the same time that I got to know Crossroads. We did this fellowship and community between several churches in the area, and we did this thing together. It was amazing. But one day, I walked into the church, and I will never forget this. I walked in, and I looked at Nick, and I said, do you feel that? The Holy Spirit's not here. It's gone. It's gone. I knew in an instant what we had was over. And there was no word from God about it. Like, he's left the building. It's over. And I just wept on my knees in the kitchen. Like, the grief of the Spirit not being there, just wept and wept and wept. So that's what that can look like if you are experiencing a mercy heart. You'll feel the grieving. You feel the grieving of God's heart when somebody has hurt someone else. When someone as a Christian is claiming to be like a great Christian person, but yet their behavior has hurt someone and they don't even know it. But you know it. So sometimes, well, most of the time then, it's very important that we listen and we bring comfort and healing to people. We create safe environments for the wounded. Oh, this is funny. Do you guys remember when Wanda was teaching a couple weeks ago, and she wanted us to use this example of, okay, you're in the car with somebody, you're the passenger, and the driver hits a parked car, okay? So my response as a mercy heart, this is my first thought, you better leave a note, okay? This is why a mercy would say you better leave a note, because I'm having mercy for the one that was wounded, the one who had the injustice happen to them. I don't have mercy for the driver first. I have mercy for the person that got affected, okay? So that's how it works. You see that? But here's the beauty of being redeemed. At some point, you will learn and practice mercy for the offender. It doesn't start that way, but it slowly develops over time. You know, there was a situation that the Lord was working in my heart in, and I was very disturbed in my spirit over this injustice, over a situation that had occurred, but yet I wanted to walk with integrity, and I wanted to have mercy for the person who was the offender. And the Lord whispered in my ear one day, because I was actually in disgust towards another person, which is very rare for me. And I never really felt that way. But then the Lord said, he said very clearly, how would you treat him if he were your son? And that changed my whole mindset towards the situation. Because it's easy to pray for your friends. It's easy to love your friends. It's hard to love your enemies and those that have hurt you. And so the hard thing for a mature mercy is to really walk in mercy for the offender and the offended. Because we're all God's children, even if we don't know it yet. Even if we haven't accepted him, it's God's heart that all should know him. So we need to treat people as such. Some of the weaknesses, this can compromise boundaries due to excessive empathy. Man, I just wanted to be loved so badly, because that's what I want other people to have. So I had a lot of boyfriends that was really bad mojo, because, I believed that showing love to someone meant doing what they like and not prioritizing my own needs. I was very codependent, and I lost my identity in their identity. And then it's been very, very hard to go, okay, you like that, I don't actually enjoy this. Like, why am I trying to skateboard? And by the way, that wasn't Nick. I actually did want to skateboard with Nick because it was a little different, but I had another one before that I was like, this is torture. I don't want to ride skateboard all the way across town all the time. This is a hill. Are you kidding? So, yeah. But there's a lot more to that, but just mercy. Oh, I do want to hit on this really quick. I got 45 seconds. On teams, being a mercy and making decisions, I think your motivational question, and this is something to help you identify, is when you start thinking, how is this going to impact individuals? So you could still think big picture, but you're thinking, how is this going to impact an individual? Are they going to be hurt? Are they going to be, or are they going to feel loved, right? So that's something else that when you're working on teams, you're going to feel.